first time I just didn't have a Wi-Fi connection. So welcome to Morning Pages Live. My name is Nicola McKenna and I run workshops for the Artist's Way, which is Julia Cameron's 12-week creative recovery program. And look, to say it's changed so many lives is an understatement. It's one of those kind of deep dives into yourself, which life doesn't allow us to do normally, and life doesn't encourage us to do it. It's kind of just put your head down and shut up and get through it, you know. And often there's a time when we'll say, actually, is this it? Is this all there is, you know? Surely there's more. And that was always my story. That was always, God, is this it now? The 9 to 5 grind. And what that is there's a little voice inside going, ding, 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 ding. It's like a postman, a really persistent postman, saying, try this. But of course, we need permission, we need authority, and we also need to build a sense of trust in ourselves, you know. So Julia Cameron's Artist's Way creative recovery program helps us to recover the trust, develop the authority. It doesn't come easy. It really doesn't come easy. But one of the things that Julia gets us to do is morning pages. Morning pages, look, I've never been too religious about them. I've never been too gung-ho about them, because especially when I started this, I was just in the thick of it, in the thick of life. And many people are. The morning pages tool can be done at any time, and it can be done at any length. Typically, we're told to do 3 pages first thing in the morning. You know, so you might let the dog out, or you might brew the coffee and then you sit down and do 3 pages of longhand. Stuff like that, yeah? Stuff like that. It's not neat and it's not to be shown to anyone. What it does is it makes space in our head and in our hearts for other things to develop, you know. So at 6 past the hour, look, because I started late, I'll just give it a minute or two. I would love to see, who do we have? Cass, how you doing, Charlotte? Great to see you. I'm just going to set up my timer. Drop me a line there if you like, but we're hoping to start soon. We do our 45 minutes. And I think there's a lot of people tune into this call, not necessarily to clear out the gunk, putting words on paper. There's a lot of people join us for what's called body doubling, when they have something difficult to do. And I always use the creative analogies, that is, editing a difficult scene in a play, drawing up a PDF for a really cranky client, you know the ones I'm talking about, and getting the difficult things done. So that's what we're about here. For the next 45 minutes, we're going to try and get the difficult things done. And sometimes that's having difficult conversations with ourselves, you know. Dumping the words out onto paper. That's all it is. It's not rocket science. And what it helps us to do then is to develop trust over time. It just takes time, but stick with me and we'll get there, you know. All right, so it's 6 past the hour. I'm going to set my timer now for 45 minutes, just to show you again the kind of work that we're doing, yeah? It's really messy and it's going to be private. You're not going to be showing to anyone, okay? We start for 45 minutes. So get your pen and paper ready. If you want to get a cup of coffee, you'll have to be quick. And then we do 7 minutes review, either with the same pen or a different colour. It doesn't really matter, it's up to you. So we're clearing out the gunk, making space for creativity. And this is the first step, and we do it within a community here. Okay, so we have Atlantida. Hello, how are you? Nice to see you. Hola, estoy en Barcelona. Well, estoy en Cataluña, pues. So you're very welcome. We're going to start now. Okay, 45 minutes of silence, where you are literally moving your arm left to right the whole time. Okay, vámonos. Okay, and go. Guys, 7 minutes left. If the boredom comes, express that, let it out, okay? There we go, there's our time. Okay. Guys, we're going to take our 7 minutes of review. And during the 7 minutes of review, when you're going back over your pages, circling insights, circling irritations, boredoms, whatever, at the end of the call, feel free to bring that to me and we'll talk about it if you like. The boredom that comes up during pages, the irritation at having to turn up, things like that. Okay, so we're going to start 7 minutes, and if you want to bring those questions to me at the end, I'm happy to stay on. All right, 7 minutes review begins now. 40 seconds left. Okay, review time is done. Review time is done. Put down your pens. It's like an exam. So, how were pages for you? Look, you know I love them anyway. That's why I go live on the internet every Friday. But the review time, and let me know your thoughts. The review time is particularly valuable to me. I get to see the bits of wisdom coming through, and the breakthroughs and the insights. Is that something that you experience? Things that you thought were insurmountable. Often things are easier to deal with in this kind of clean room setting of the morning pages, and that kind of came through for me this morning, that this is a bit like a safe place just for 45 minutes, a bit of a lab, a clean room lab. I'm watching a lot of Big Bang Theory with Amy Farrah Fowler, that laboratory scientist, and she talks a lot about her clean room, and she's always looking through a microscope. And it strikes me that this is my time, and it might be your time as well, to put something under a microscope, or to be walking past the microscope and suddenly you look down by mistake and something's there. Morning pages bring that insight to us out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. This is not us doing it. We're just turning up and getting a decent pen in and starting, opening up the channels, turning on the telly, seeing what's on. That's all this is. It's not us being super creative. It's us being willing to turn up and be the tool. Let me know your thoughts on that anyway. I'm here for a few minutes, so I'm going to have a quick read of your comments. Charlotte, way back, yeah? Some Mamado Secreta. Yeah, I got a load of people on the call at the start. People who are just nosy, and I get that. I'm a nosy person as well. Or, I have scrolled through or tuned into the odd live. No, not my cup of tea. So it went rapidly from 18 people down to 2. And I think, those 2 people are the ones who actually want to be here, who need to be here, whatever. One of whom is Charlotte Smithwaite. Charlotte says, yes, I'm on the body double camp. I did have a go at the writing a couple of times, and then I discovered that my husband had been picking my writing out of the bin and reading it. Oh, la la. I think he just wanted to check on my mental state. Yeah, I hear you. He sounds like a good egg. I'm going through perimeno and having some crazy moments. Yeah, I hear you. And to be honest, there's nothing there that I would hide from him, really. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. But so some of the things you do like to keep private, don't you? Charlotte continues to say, it made me feel as if the space I thought was private no longer was. So you've not done it since. Yeah, I hear you. I'm so sorry. But I suppose I would maybe suggest asking yourself when the practice was, before the safety was kind of how did it feel? Was it helpful? Because there are other ways of doing this, you know. There's other ways of disposing of the words, you know, and you can dispose of the words, you know, by burning or putting in a folder or something like that, you know, or keep it, you know, keep it in a notebook and put the notebook away, you know. Glove compartment of the car is wonderful. Nobody ever looks in that. Or the salad drawer. Nobody ever checks that in my house. So, but yeah, I hear you. It's just a very vulnerable place to be, you know. And perimenopause, I'm sure, is a difficult time as well. We all experience it in different ways, but you have to do what's right for you, Cass, you know. And I'm so glad that you do the body doubling, and I'm so glad that you turn up. You were the person I was thinking of when I talked about doing up a PDF for a difficult client, because we all know who those people are, and we all know that sometimes having to work with someone who's difficult, it feels so insurmountable, and it can be really helpful to do that kind of work alongside someone else in a little bit of a community, you know. So either way, I'm glad you're here. Secretessin, who's Eva. Hello, good morning. Great to see you. Eva says, yes, it's opening a channel. It really is. It's opening a bit of a dialogue. Some people think it's opening a dialogue with nature, with the universe, with God. Whatever that thing is for you, it's such a personal thing. All I know is that the freedom that comes with opening this channel is tremendous. It is life-giving to this person anyway. The freedom that I experience doling out expression in this way. Nothing's off limits, you know. Nothing is off limits. So I asked you a little bit in past weeks and in this week just to pay attention during the process of body doubling or morning pages live, to pay attention to things like boredom, to things like, oh, look outside the window and pay attention to, or in my case, running over and grabbing a cup of coffee and having a sip of coffee. Sometimes it's useful to pay attention to those moments and say, what did I just hit upon on the pages that sends me scrolling or looking out the window or thinking, God, I really should apply some foot cream, or whatever it is. Pay attention to those moments. It's a little bit like headspace. Not applying any judgment, just paying attention, developing our awareness. It's a bit like meditation in headspace, sorry, meditation. It's a little bit like training the mind just to sit up and pay attention to the good, to the bad, to the helpful thoughts, to the crap, to the irritation, to the drive to go on. You know, oh, I prefer to look out the window than to talk about this, to express this on paper. And I urge you to pay attention to that. I urge you to pay attention to the feeling that, you know, for example, in Cass's example, to pay attention to the need for safety and the need for confidentiality, and because that would be huge to me as well, Cass, if my innermost thoughts were plucked out of the bin. It's a huge thing. It's a huge thing. So, yeah, we're right here for you anyway, Cass. Anything else that's on your mind? Charlotte says, that's an interesting thought. Sometimes we can't see the wood for the trees. This would be a way of paying attention to the trees. Yeah. Yeah, paying attention to the trees. It's always a lovely thing to do. It kind of helps the old mindfulness and living in the moment, as they talk about, you know, paying attention to. Right now I'm looking out at swaying pine cone trees in the most gentle wind ever. It is so beautiful. and it helps me to ground myself and reminds me that all of this SHIT on the paper, right now I'm safe, right now I'm in good company, right now I have freedom to express whatever's going on, be that on paper or be that not. Yes, Charlotte, the salad drawer is fantastic, okay? I mean, my mother, for years, I come from a family of 7, and my mother, you know, she would do anything just to make sure that there's a biscuit if there was a visitor coming. So everything would go into the salad drawer or the tumble dryer because she knew that we would never look in either of those places, huh? She's a genius, yeah, she's an absolute genius. And I have simply followed in her footsteps. So, I'll tell you a little bit about what happened in mine. I suppose with pages, I have always felt the need to talk, and I don't know about you, but in real life, there's not always very many ears willing to hear you, or many ears that are willing to hear you all the time. And pages will hear you all the time. On the good days and the bad days and the shit days and the perimenopausal days and any of those days, the pages just don't, it's kind of like they don't care. They really don't. But when we get to express whatever's going on, when we get to write down those resentments, those angers, those nobody understands me feelings, we feel better, and the pages can take it. I've always said that the pages can take it. The pages are wonderful for that, you know. The pages are the clean room, and they're the place where we get to experiment, discuss the problem, discuss with our colleagues, which is basically just us, the universe, God, whoever you're having the dialogue with. It's a place to discuss and say, now, why is this happening? Or even, I don't care why it's happening. What can I do to treat it? How do I proceed after this? When I leave the lab, what are the things that I can do to mind myself, to show myself compassion, to develop the trust, and know that the authority I feel when I'm writing the pages, when I'm making, when I'm body doubling, writing the difficult things, the authority I feel, I would like to carry a little bit of that out into real life, outside of the lab. Does that make sense? What I experienced this morning was that I was managing to apply distance to the past events. I was managing to apply, after many years of trying, applying a distance to, it almost became like a rewrite of my past. And something lately came to me that, let's say you're a playwright or a novelist or something, and you're toing and froing with an editor, with a dramaturge, someone like that, and they might come back to you and say, oh no, sorry, I sent you the wrong version of that scene. You know that script that I sent you? It's actually the incorrect one. Here's the right one. Sorry, I just spotted that now. Imagine if some of the things that had happened to us, or some of the perceptions that we've had, were simply the wrong script given to us in the first place. And that there was a new script somewhere and someone was just slow about sending it on. And that struck me lately, that there's always another script somewhere. There's always another narrative somewhere. And if that new narrative can help ease a little bit of the pain and suffering, it's quite a nice thing to receive that new script on email or through the post. Oh, this is what it's supposed to be. Oh my God. So that struck me lately. And it definitely came out in my pages today. That a slight change in one or two of the scenes would call for a total rewrite. And there's great hope and great optimism and all of that in it, you know. Yeah, Charlotte, about the coffee table or the coffee cake. It was always coffee cake in our house. It was never biscuits, it was always cake. You know, and cake, I mean, Jesus, we'd have that demolished in about 3 seconds flat, you know. Guys, if there's nothing else, we will wrap up today. It is 11:15 with you, 12:15 with me. And as you know, I'm doing a launch, an art launch in Barcelona. So I'm about an hour away from Barcelona at the moment. And so this morning's a lot about kind of settling down into that trust and breathing. A lot of breathing and knowing that all of the steps that have brought me to this place are the right steps for me. And I've earned it. I'm the only person who can do this job, and I'm going to do it coolly and calmly, and I'm going to do it well, you know. So I'm trying to bear that in mind anyway. The piece that I'm presenting is called Embrace, and it's the first of a new collection that I have. It's called Selfies, which is just a collection of figurative, raw, naive, brute, outsider style of art that I make the last 4 or 5 years. And so it's going to be exciting. That's happening on Tuesday evening in the H10 Art Gallery up in Barcelona. So I am dead excited and so thankful for their support. After that, we're donating the piece. It's a giant framed piece, and it's being donated to H10's charity partner, whose name is Caritas Barcelona. And basically they look after communities of people who are living close to poverty. They help people with a little bit of education, health, childcare, enough to get people back on their feet over time, you know. So I'm thrilled to be able to donate the piece. After the summer is done, I might come back and we might do a bit of a presentation. I don't know, we'll see. But thank you for joining me for this morning. It was really good fun. Eva says, how much I needed your words, Nicola, today. It's a pleasure, Eva. It's such a pleasure. It's such a pleasure to have you. And it's always good to talk, you know. And it's good to do this practice. I can't say it enough. I'm like a broken record. But once we're writing, once we're talking into an audio recorder, it doesn't matter. People do their pages in lots of different ways. They do it audio, they might paint, they might just do pen and paper as we do here. And what it's doing is it's extracting all the toxins and the shite. And it's not, there's just no judgment there, you know, there's no advice. Oh, do you know what you should do now? Huh? The pages will never come back as if you know what you should do that. If the pages do offer advice, it'll be small, short phrases, and it will be generally something that resonates deeply with you, and you go, God, yeah, that all came from me, or it all came through me. Does that make sense? All right, my friends, going to say goodbye for now, and thanks very much, and I will see you next week. I'll be back in sunny Dublin. All right, goodbye, España, and hola, and Irlanda. Thanks very much. Have a great day. Look after yourself, and don't work too hard, okay? All the best. Bye.